Hello, everyone. This is Evelyn of Evelyn's Creations. Thank you for joining with us live on our Thursday night, not Sunday. Sunday is Mother's Day, so that's why it's on my mind. But I want to stop in for you tonight to encourage you not to quit. So tonight's title is "Don't Quit, Keep Climbing." And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to talk about tonight, exactly what could help you. And with all of the people coming in for graduation, and if you watch my post that I just shortly put out the last hour, you will see two graduates that'll be doctors after Saturday, graduating from the University of Florida, which is in Gainesville, Florida. If anyone know Florida, and they were just telling me about the struggles that they went through and how hard it was to get that doctorate degree, and just struggling and working, and the gentleman was telling me how much weight he lost, just struggling, just working because his parents, wanted so much for him. And if you look at the first video, the female is the third generation and the male is the fourth generation. So I was so honored and so proud that they came to me for their alterations. Their parents bought them clothes. Both of these cases now, the parents bought them clothes the size they were when they started school or this year. This last year was so tough. They had just lost so much weight that they had to come and get it altered. So what it is don't quit, keep climbing. And I want everybody to know that can affect all of us in our lives, personal life, financial life, marital life, health life, whatever you're going through. Just don't quit. Keep climbing. One step at a time, one pace at a time, one thought at a time. Every time you try to do something, you just cannot give up. You got to keep climbing. And these young people were saying to me, "Oh, it was so much easier for my parents." I said, "Oh, no, it wasn't." Did they have a car? Did they have iPhone? Did they have ready available libraries? Did they have think tanks? So the young generation feel like because they're now fighting to be just as successful or better than their parents, that their parents had a break. And there's no break. There's no break for none of us. Everything we're doing is more difficult, more stressful, more involved, more time consuming, more ungrateful for what you're doing. But you got to keep climbing. Okay, if it's your first time on my channel, my name is Evelyn of Evelyn's Creations. I'm an international fashion designer. I excuse me, I inspire to teach you everything I can to empower you to reach your talents and your gift. And I want you to know that it's not easy. Like the gentleman said, I felt like I just came through a car wash. The gentleman was from the Congo in Africa, and the Congo is in the middle. It's the biggest part of Africa in the middle. Some of it is incorporated, some of it's not incorporated. That's where our Kuba cloth come from. They actually took a tree and turned it into fabric, weaving the straw, and made garments out of it. So my goal for these young people that are Native Africans to make sure that they didn't forget their heritage, and also and tell them how important it is to keep it going and to give homage to their heritage, to their culture, to their families, to their grandparents that still live in Africa. You got an education in America, but don't forget your roots. So if you are going through anything in your business life, your personal life, your relationship life, you have regular personal, like dealing with your own self, but you also have personal, dealing with a mate or a loved one or significant other or a partner. We want to make sure that we don't quit. We keep ourselves first, but we don't quit. We don't give up. We look at your downfalls or your shortcomings as if it is a just say it's a stepping stone. You know, if it's like if you feel heat, you say, well, I don't want that. You know, I want cold air right now. So you go to the cold air, and then you go back to the heat, and then you realize you got to find a balance. And when you find that balance, that's when you strive to get better. That's when you strive to move forward, and you find the right people at the right time to help you. And that's how you can go along. And then when you find that person to help you, or those people to help you, or that team, or the government, or whatever sources that you may need, then you reach back and you help somebody else. So tonight, I want to encourage you not to quit, to keep climbing. And the reason I didn't pick going, because you're gonna go anyway, right? Meaning go, meaning you're gonna wake up, you're gonna go through this day, and you're gonna have to go through the day, whether you're doing anything or not. The day will pass. But if you make a point of climbing a little bit every day towards your goals or where you want to be, you're gonna be okay. You'll be okay without a doubt. You will be okay. Okay. So when you do this, when you don't quit, there's so many things for you when you just don't quit. If you if you ever if you ever think about quitting, ask yourself, what's the advantages and what's the disadvantages? Have I ever thought about quitting? Absolutely. I mean, I have thought about quitting so many times. I'm like, I just don't know if I could do this anymore. How am I going to make it? How am I going to get it done? How am I going to pay all these bills? Soon as I start thinking about quitting, I make a sale. Soon as I think about quitting, somebody calls me for another sale. Soon as I think about quitting, I'm going to say, how can I go and work for an hourly wage? How can I survive on an hourly wage? How can I survive making money and waiting on a paycheck every week? How can I do that? How can I accomplish the impossible if I quit and go help somebody else with their dream? Listen to me. If you quit yourself and go help somebody with their dream, and I'm talking to everybody. Just say you're a grandmother, and you say, I'm just gonna quit and I'm just gonna take care of my grandkids. The kids is your children's dream, or your children's responsibility. And when you just take care of the children, and I'm not just saying that lightly, if you take care of just your children, then you feel like, what if I would have made something today? Because there's a way you could do both. And there's a way that your shift could end, or you can get some help on either side of that equation and move forward. So when you helping someone else out, don't let it stop you from climbing. Don't make an excuse, because everybody that's on this channel has a phone. And a phone today is a business. It's not just a cell phone. It's not just a social media. It's a business. Every time you make a sale, every time someone calls you, they're not talking to the phone that's attached to the wall anymore. They're calling you on a business line. Look at your phone as a business line and a business expense. Now, how is a job going to take care of your business? A job can't take care of your business. A business has to take care of your business. Okay? A business has to take care of your business. So when you say, I just don't want to do it no more, I'm going to quit, use your mouth. Be a referral. Be an affiliate. Be an affiliate for yourself. If I make these sales, I make this much money. If I get this done, I'll make this much money. If I follow through, I can pay that off. I can pay this off. So the whole night is inspiring you not to quit, to keep climbing on whatever level you are, whatever level that you're doing. I want you to keep climbing. I'm going to give a couple examples, and I've actually spoken to a couple people, and I told them I'll be talking about this tonight. And they're emphasizing on quitting, not their business, but quitting certain things. Okay, when something is working for you, you definitely don't quit. When something is working in your business, in your craft, you can stream back and start going another direction, but you don't quit. There's a famous author from Atlanta. It says hustle and flow. So whatever you're doing right now, that's making the means, paying the bills, that's your flow. Your side work is your hustle. Some people don't like the word hustle, but hustle means getting it done. Get it done. Get it done. Get it done. Get it done. You know what I mean? Move distractions, get it done. Move distractions, get it done. All right. So tonight is so important. And if you can come back and listen to this. I don't often tell you this, but tonight I want you to listen to this video twice, because there's so many of you. When I look at your pictures and I see your work, you have to just change your thought process, because you're doing it the same way. In other words, the money's not coming fast enough. Why isn't the money coming fast enough? Because you're doing it the same way. Okay. When the money start coming, you won't be able to keep up. You will not be able to keep up when the money is not, when the money starts to come in, you won't be able to keep up. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason you won't be able to keep up, I'm sorry for moving the laptop here, but when the money starts to coming, you've been thinking on this level. I sold a hat, I sold a tie, I sold a scarf. You wasn't thinking on the level of dozens. You wasn't thinking on the level of multiple items. You're thinking that one hat, one scarf, one shirt, one tie should be a big profit. I'm going to give you some examples for those who are in the crosshairs and for those who are making their inventory. Those who are making your inventory, raise your right hand, pat yourself on the back. Those who are making inventory, raise your left hand, pat yourself on the back. Those who are making inventory, give yourself a hand. Because if you got inventory, you're going to win. If you got inventory, you're climbing. Okay? If you don't have inventory and you say, I don't hear anything, chirp, 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 you're not going to make it. When I say you're not going to make it, that means you're not going to make it to the level that you could be at, that you can feel a reward. And to feel a reward, you got to put some skin in it. You got to work. You got to work at it every day. You got to work at it when you're tired. You got to work. Don't quit. Keep climbing. Do not quit by any means necessary. Do not quit by any means necessary. Keep climbing. Keep climbing with your gift. Keep climbing with your skills. And you know what? One of my biggest, there's a lot of fans, but one of my biggest fans when I was coming up and I was working and I would stop in Atlanta and I stay at the house and I would find a book to read. I would read this book by this man that just died a couple days ago. And his name was Ted Turner. Ted Turner, if you don't know, died yesterday at 87 years old. And he is the face of CNN. He's the face of the Atlanta Braves. He's the face of a couple of basketball teams. He has all this land and he loves buffaloes. He has a restaurant downtown, a buffalo restaurant that he get his own meat from his buffalo. And the reason that I like Ted Turner, because Ted Turner was done wrong by CNN. He made this wonderful thing. He said that people were always going to want to know the news. And they go, no, it won't work. Nobody want to hear the news all day. He said, no, people always will want to know news. Well, somewhere along the line, they stole his company from him. But you know what he did? He kept building other stuff. He kept building and making and calling out not millionaires, wolfinaires. And he called them wolfinaires because he said they'll never be able to spend all their money. All they're gonna do is flush it in the toilet. They can't buy but so many yachts. They can't buy but so many planes. They can't buy but so much land. I mean, I love Ted Turner. I mean, Ted Turner. If you get a chance, just read one of Ted Turner's books. He was a philanthropist. He cared about people. He cared that you knew what was going on. And another person that I really love, he's still alive, was Clint Eastwood. Clint Eastwood said, the first thing you do is pay off your house. When you start making money, pay your house off because money will go up and down, but you'll still have a place to live. Don't buy a house and buy a big car and buy all this expensive furniture. Sacrifice, pay your house off. That's why we have so many people, so many boxers, so many people. They have all this money and then they lose their house and they lose their kids' house. The kids lose their house. So the reason I like those two people is because they didn't quit and they telling other people how not to quit. So when I'm curled up in Atlanta and I'm trying to figure out how to get this salary that's going to be my only piece of my salad, I'm reading this book and I'm saying, man, okay, I got to pay the house off. But by something else, I need to pay it off. I need to be prepared for the rainy days because it will rain, right? Everybody know it will rain. I called Georgia today. They say it's raining. So it will rain. So we got to do the right thing and we got to keep building it. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not here for my health. I'm here for you. I'm here for you because you can do it. You can do it. You can build your wealth, but you got to keep climbing and don't ever think about quitting. If you ever think about quitting, this is what I do when I think about quitting. If you think about quitting, I'm going to give you where I got this idea from because I don't have all the ideas myself. There was a Dr. Barbara King that lived in Atlanta, and she had her own church. This is not the Reverend King, Martin Luther King daughter, but there was a famous pastor, female pastor named Dr. Barbara King in Atlanta, Georgia. And I used to design dresses for her. And she wrote this awesome book. And I read it 10 times at least. And it said, whenever you want to think about quitting, use your brain like a computer because your brain is better than any computer they could ever make. And she said, when you think about quitting, hit delete. Now when you hit delete, you can go back and retrieve your trash. They call it your trash because you got to delete it twice to get rid of it, right? But back then, they didn't have that. When you hit delete, it was actually gone. But when you think about yourself as a brain that's bigger than a computer, and you start thinking about, if I think about quitting, then I'm going to manifest that. But if you have that thought, it's like driving down the road and you hit the boop, 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 and you get distracted and you come back in the road. That doesn't mean you won't ever think about it, but that means you get back focused. And when you get back in line in the road, you don't go backwards because all the cars coming behind you, right? So when you put things in your mind that you think you're going to quit, then you have to line yourself back up because you can't quit. When you start to quit, you start messing with your mental health. But even if it's a half step, do a half step. When you can do a bigger step, do a bigger step. But don't quit. And when you can put in your mind, I'm gonna hit delete every time I feel like I can't do it. I'm gonna hit delete because I don't have the money. I'm gonna hit delete because how am I gonna keep up with the pace? You figure it out. You figure it out. When you get in a quiet space and you have nothing around you, you will figure out exactly how to get to your mission. And then when you get to your mission, guess what's going to happen? a wave of bills gonna come. And they're gonna be like, why did you do that? You know you couldn't do that. And you hit delete. And then that wave go down and your money come up. And it will keep going. The cycle, it's like the sun and the moon. It has to keep rotating. Money has to circulate. If the money is circulating, hold your hand out for some of it. If the money is circulating and you don't have anything ready for somebody to hold their hand out and give you their money and take your goods, then you in trouble. You are in trouble because when some people money goes out their hand, they have to wait to the next pay period, next payday. And so the money is not coming as fast. But if you got a lot of entrepreneurs that's working, that's why they said small businesses keep America going, right? Because small businesses are doing everything. They're doing plumbing jobs, they're doing roofs, they're doing landscaping, they're doing housekeeping, they're building all these companies, they're doing farming, they're doing gardening. And when you keep America around, it doesn't wait to Social Security check, it doesn't wait to a payday, it doesn't wait to pension day, it doesn't wait to, you know, your money coming in off your stocks and bonds payout. So money can flow because of small businesses. You all are all small businesses. You all can all ask for money before you get it. When I say you can ask for money before you get the item ready to ship, you can get paid before you ship. So when you get paid before you ship, the money is flowing. It doesn't stop. It can't stop. It can't stop. If money stops, that's when you get late fees, overdraft fees, interest charges. So if money continue to move, then we will all be able to make it. You know what I mean? Because even when they have the money to loan, they need to give it to you so they can make some money. If a company has $1 billion and they don't loan the money out, their money gonna shrink. It doesn't work unless you letting somebody have some and they get it out, but you got to get the right kind of money. So I'm leading all that up to talk about why you shouldn't quit what you're doing. I'm going to give a great example. And then I'm going to call one of our members. I know she's watching right now, but I'm going to call her and let her know how much we appreciate her coming by the store this week. Okay, I'm going to give you this incident, and then I want you to hold on tight because I got you right where I want you. I got your eyes and ears open. First, I got to do a pitch, the commercial break. If you need some coaching, my number is 407-590-8767. If you want to get your business on a good and steady pace and you want to get it done right, you have 1 year of coaching that we would charge you. It's $1,200. You can pay in 2 payments. After this month, on June the 1st, it goes to $1,500. I give you a lot. I work with you. I get you started. Even if you're coaching and you're getting your pictures and you're getting your ideas of what to describe it, long as I get your stuff, if you keep building your inventory and we get all your things in by the beginning of August, we'll be ready for the holidays. And we will slowly get it going. For those who are putting it all together, getting your stock, we don't have to wait to that point. But I want you to have your inventory because what you don't want to do is open a store with 10 items. You want to open a store where you have a minimum of 100 items. And when you have 100 items, then you give people enough time to shop. Now, you can listen to every one of my videos. I got almost 750 videos, maybe going close to 800. You can listen to every video. Every video have some nuggets in it, how to do it. But if you get the coaching, you don't have to listen to 800 videos. And it don't take you 2 years to look at all those videos. So you need to get the coaching if you want. And if you don't want the coaching, listen to the favorite videos that you like and listen to it 5 times. And then just get it what you need. Say if you just want to do street vending. All right. If you just want to do street vending, you got to deal with the elements: sun, rain, wind, and how you feel. Okay. If you're doing an event, you need to know where you're located. Where's the traffic flow? If you're doing an event, Don't be in the front. Most people want to be right in the front. Get in a quiet spot. Get by the bathroom. Get by a food place. Get where you're gonna get traffic. If you're right in the front at a festival, oh, I like that. But guess what? Guess what a smart shopper gonna do? They're gonna go and they're gonna look at everything before they purchase. No smart shopper buy something at the first booth because they haven't seen everything. They want to know that they bought the best stuff. So don't be in the front all the time. Spread yourself out. And when you selling your stuff, your wares, your goods, it's more than stuff. It's bigger than stuff. So I don't want you to take that lightly. When you're selling your items, do not sell your items like you selling insurance. That means putting the booth there, putting it right there. I always suggest a booth like this, like a U, two sides, one back. Sink your customers in, tell them what you got, how much it costs. Do BOGO sales, buy one get half off. Get a mailing list. Have a chair for them to sit down. Have them some water. Be customer friendly. When you customer friendly, I guarantee you somebody else is there. They're gonna call, say, "Come over here. She treat me right. Come over here. He treat me right." Okay. So if you're doing festivals this summer, don't set your booth up like you're selling insurance. When you say selling insurance, Evelyn, what do you mean? That means that they gotta have it. You know how you gotta have insurance? You gotta have insurance. You get a good price. So you go to the insurance. They got a table out front. You standing out in the aisle to get it, right? That's not how selling goes. Selling goes inviting them in, sucking them in. Would you like my items? What would you like today? You know, and then pre-package. Don't sell everything as a single. Sell it as a set and price it as a set. Okay. So when you have a set, make extras. Make some things where it's separate and some things as a set. Because when you break the set, the part of the set you don't sell could be harder to sell. So do bundles. And some of my things I won't even sell it as a separate. Because if I sell it as a separate, I lose money. Okay, just say like this. When you go buy a man's suit and you say, "Okay, I want this suit." And the suit is $199, excuse me. The guy gonna say, "Oh, it's $199, but I don't want the pants. It's $199." Okay, so when it's $199, then what you do is you sell it for $199. They can leave the pants or they can take the pants, and that's what will happen. Okay, now the reason I'm going on this, don't quit, is because this is the second quarter, and this is the quarter where decisions are being made for your business for the rest of the year or for the rest of your career. I spoke to someone today and tonight, and they told me that they were making money off of a site and then they want to shut it down because the fees was too high. Okay. They're making sales, but they want to shut it down. And I actually told her that I was going to speak about this tonight. I asked her not to shut it down. And the reason that I asked her not to shut it down is because when you if you got something working, like say you got a job and you say, "I don't like this shift. I'm just gonna quit. I'm gonna go find me another job." If that was your child, that was your husband, that was your daughter, your son, or your friend, and they said, "I'm just gonna quit because I don't like the amount of money they take out my check." All right. Well, you know how they say some money is better than no money? That's what you got to think about. Some money is better than no money. You can't quit. You can't quit on something that's working. What you have to do is learn from it. You have to learn that maybe my price is too cheap. Maybe I need to make another hat or another scarf or another handbag that costs more and then have that price to start coming up. Okay. Now, when you sell something online, anywhere, even if it's on your own website, If you sell something on your own website, you have to pay a hosting fee. That hosting fee may not be much, but if it don't cost no money, it's not going to see a lot of people. If you put yourself on a site, and if it took a while, like when you really start making money, it don't happen overnight. It just don't happen overnight, because they got to trust you. When people see your site, they have a thing where they call a rating. How long have you been in business? How many views you had? What are your reviews? How much inventory you have? If you're on a website with the search engine and you only have 2 items, then the search engine is going to put you last, like on page 629 for that category. All right. Literally, if you put your stuff on a search engine and you say, well, I only made this amount of money and they took this amount of money and I'm not making any money. Well, if you're on page 629, how many times that you look for something to buy online do you go down to 629? Even if you've been there 6 months, you're dead last because you don't have the inventory. And if you don't have the inventory, they're not going to try to show 600, not 600. They're not going to show 63 million people your one item, because they can't make no money off of it. And when they make money off of it, you're saying it costs too much. Commercial break with some tea. So, excuse me. When you get to coaching, you learn stats. You learn how the algorithm works. When you say you got 10 or 12, it's still low inventory. You don't have to have 10 or 12 made. You have to have the possibility of making it within a week or however long you say you can make it. So when you figure it out and you start getting regular traction, okay, say you sell that one item, and then you upload that you got another item. Then the algorithm gonna be like this. Do we show that? Can we show them something else? And what they'll do, they'll have a person that want what you got. They may describe it exactly like you got it labeled. But if they got somebody else that got 50 to 100 or 1,000 items, they're going to send it to that particular buyer or seller because they can make money. The algorithm is there to make money. It doesn't care anything about us. No platform, only person that care about you is you and me. I care about you. But when you put your stuff online, nobody care about you. Nobody could care less. In fact, they don't even really want to know your name. They just want their product. They want it on time. They want it to fit. They want it to look like it looked, and they done. They aren't even looking for nothing else. They just not caring about you. All right. So what I'm saying to you, to make money, you got to stick with it. You can't quit. You got to climb. And you got to get the right coaching, because when you start seeing those sales, and you made a sale and you only had one listed, you better raise your hand and pat yourself on the back. Because what that means is you just putting your toe in the water. You're not trying to swim. You know what I mean? You're not trying to buy an island. You're just putting the toe in the water. So when you realize the algorithm is saying you are not stocked enough for me to give my buyers your information. Okay. Now there's 2 reasons that you want to get some coaching, and there's 2 reasons that you want to get your own website. When you send that item to that person and you on this platform, and the name of the platform is eBay. If you on eBay and you made that sale and you send your information, you send your item to them, then you refer them to your website that have more items, right? But when they go on your website and they don't know you, and they don't trust you and they don't know if they're going to get their item, then they're not going to really want to buy from you until they see that your business have been in business for a while. Like if you're like I got a site where it says she made 8,000 sales. Okay, she got some reviews. She got some good ones, she got some bad ones, she got some mediums. Let's see if she get my order. She get my order right, I'll order some more. Some people you're not going to please all the time, and some people will never give you a good review even if they love the item. And some people will love the item and still give you a 4-star. That's okay, because the post office got a 2 and 3 star. We still go to the post office, right? Don't worry about the reviews. Worry about your inventory. Worry about keeping it stocked. So back to eBay. You're on eBay. eBay is fast cash. I want to get it fast. Remember, when you're on eBay, they want it low, right? But you can start selling some things higher. When you sell it on eBay and they sell it for you, they get a cut. They get a listing fee. They got like 3 or 4 different fees. But that's because it took them a while to get you a sale. So they have to charge you for it. And then if you got more items, then you can have more items in people's carts. But if you only got one item, they're going to say, well, I don't know. If I don't trust that, they only been on there. They haven't been on eBay. They haven't made, but they'll tell them how many sales you made. They'll tell them you can go review the item, and they'll put like a quality score on your site. But your biggest quality score is your inventory. If you don't have the inventory, then you're not going to be at the top. Now, when you, I want to make sure I'm clear about the website, the personal website. You should always have a personal website, but you should be aware that when you're on a personal website, the search engines is not going to be like Google, and it never will. Because Google, the reason Google is so good is because everybody goes on the Google. Everybody pays to be on the Google. All the businesses, they have listings on the Google. They're feeding Google. I mean, if you open a store and they can put a pin on your store, or if you got a business in your house and they could put a pin on your house, or a pin on your garage, or a pin where you say you're located on your P.O. box, that gives a rating. This is a real business. AI discourages a lot of people. So you should always have a website. Very, very inexpensive website. I wouldn't recommend a website. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I wouldn't recommend a website spending over $50 a month, because it's going to add up real quick. If you pay for the coaching and you get on the right sites and you start making money in 3 to 6 months, you won't even feel that. And you're only going to pay 20 cents a listing. Okay. So, but you gotta know how to do it. But when you got your own website and you can't send 1 million people to your website is only going to be by the people you know and you refer to you. And then if you make up all this inventory and you're not on the right site and have the right coaching, it can take a long time to make a third, a quarter, or eighth, or 100 of the money. The reason that I'm going down lower is because the more inventory you have, the more items you have, the more people are going to stay on your site and they're going to shop on your site. And if you start putting your site up when you only got one item, then you got only 2 items. But if you prepping your inventory and you putting out 30 items a month, and I can show you how to do that where it don't have to be 30 the same, or it could be the same but different colors, and how to list it and how to categorize it. Plus size, small size, you know what I mean? Infant size, art. You can, even if you just do one piece of art, you can have on that same site and put it in that one category. So I strongly advise you not to close what's working, even if you're not making money. The lesson to that is we have to raise our prices and we have to have more volume, or we have to make our item quicker. So say if you make $20 on a hat after your supplies and you sell it for $35, right? See if that $15 will cover your fees and your shipping and the tax. If the shipping, the tax, and the fees is not included in that, then your price need to go up. And then you can give a deal when they buy two. The sweet spot of selling anything online right now is $50. If you can sell something for $50, you can make sales all day. That doesn't mean you won't make sales if you sell something for $200 or $300 or $400, but you will sell it all day. Okay, for those who are just coming on, this is Evelyn of Evelyn's Creations. I'm an international fashion designer. This is a online live stream, and if you're looking for the first time, this is a coaching class to our boot camp. And these are people who are engaged with starting their business, retaining their business, or building their business. So when you come on to this, it's almost like you're in a private workshop room. So all the people that are on the live stream, they're here weekly, and they're talking to each other, and they're sharing their ideas, and it's not a live stream where we are talking about an individual. It's a live stream where we are helping individuals, and we're learning from individuals, and we're building individuals. So the platform that we're coaching in the Evelyn's Creations Bootcamp is to build your self-esteem, inspire you to have more than enough. When the gas goes up, that doesn't mean you want to pay it, but you can. We don't want to pay it, but we have to, right? So when those kids came in here last week and this week, and they said, Miss Evelyn, we made it. We doctors now. We went through the storm. I feel like I've been in the car wash. I feel like I've been drugged through the mud. They kept climbing. So I want you to go back and look at those two young people that kept climbing. And you're the same way. And it doesn't matter your age. You will keep climbing. So I'm gonna make a phone call to this 87-year-old boot camp. I hope she's listen, you all. I'm gonna do the roll call in a couple minutes, but I gotta get her on here so you can hear her, because she was like a Terry from Mississippi moment. She was like a Brenda Snapney moment. She was like the Sisters Allison that came in. I mean, I was like, let me tell you about this boot camp person before I call her. I asked her, could I call her tonight? She's still in Florida. She's 8. She said I called her, said she was 86. She said, I'm 87. She came in the store on Monday. She actually sent me her flight schedule. She came in the store with her daughter and her granddaughter and a friend. And she was like, this is me. I recognize her from the picture she sent me, right? She came in, she flew from Delaware to Florida, had never been to Florida. She brought her 2 dogs with her, y'all. She brought her 2 dogs. She flew her 2 dogs with her. Go on with your bad self, because I got 2 dogs. So she flew in with her 2 dogs, and she had just had hip replacement surgery with a cane, doing her thing, making this fabulous. She make these fabulous bags, and I mean, and she make hats, and she shared with me this. She said, I got stuck on a dress. She don't like making big things yet. And that's okay. She got stuck on a dress, right? When she got stuck on a dress, she said it was a simple dress, but she just got stuck. And you know what? We get through that. We get sewing block where we like, I don't want to do this. This ain't my kind of sewing. I want to paint. I want to draw. I want to make small things. Her forte is making smaller bags. And they are wonderful, well made, lined, pockets, everything, right? So I told her sometimes you have to go through that struggle in your brain. It's called sewing block. And you do this item for somebody, and something that should take a couple of hours, she said took her 3 weeks. It's okay, because she kept climbing. You like, I'm not gonna let this dress bother me. She said, look how easy this dress was. Yes, it was easy. But you know what? When you're a perfectionist, you want the lines right, you want the collar right, you want the inseams right, you want the pockets right. You just want it to look good on the hanger. When you do all of that, you be like, oh, you ready to go? Okay, you good? All right. Okay, I got a new assistant, y'all. I got a new assistant. I'm gonna show her to you. She in boot camp too, cause she got a lot to keep up with me. But anyway, so anyway, I'm gonna call this fabulous woman. I hope she up. I'm gonna see if she'll answer the phone, cause she's with her family, and and you know how it could be when you with your family. It'd be a little mimic. So while I pull her phone up, I want you to read the comments that everybody's saying, and I'm gonna pull her up and see if she answers the phone. I thought she was at dinner, but she may be ready. So let's see. Let's see if she answers the phone. This our fun time. This our fun time. We make a phone call. Hello, how are you? Okay, this is Miss Evelyn on the boot camp. I got you on live. Are you on? Okay. Well, we won't buy. Are you driving? Are you a passenger? I said, are you driving or are you a passenger? You're a passenger. Okay, so we just want to ask a couple of questions because the campers are looking, they're watching, they are looking at. I put your post out with you in the store, and they got to see you on the couch, the famous couch of all the boot campers. And can you just, I mean, she said, I'm 87, y'all. I'm 87. Can you tell them about what your experience here at the store? See, see what she has to offer. Stories are wonderful. It's quite an experience, and it's I see, well, I saw trust and believe and determination. The five stores are beautiful. You must come see for yourself. You must come. Okay. And she's a lot of people connected to her. Please come see what she has to offer. Okay, she's saying, since I'm saying they can't hear you, I don't have a microphone on your phone, but she's saying how her experience was well here, and you must come see the stores. And I'm look taller than I am. I'm short. I'm 5'2". She's a 5'1". I'm like one more inch. All right. But I have a heart of a 10 feet person. I mean, my spirit, my work ethics is 10 feet tall. And I just want, I wanted to share her because she's 87 years young, and she's traveling, and she's sewing, and she sells at events, and she shows her wares, her goods, her services, and she ain't nowhere about to stop. She's buying fabric to make more things. So I wanted to call her while she's here because I wanted everybody to be inspired by her tenacity and by her commitment to learning everything she could get, every crumb. I said, well, how many videos have you watched? She said, all of them. She said, I watch 100% of them. I watch 100% of them. And that's why I'm here. You know what I mean? But them soldiers came in. I want y'all to know this. When you tell somebody you're going to see a YouTuber and your daughter, I mean, she came in with soldiers. She came in like Miss Brenda. She came in with an army of women with her, saying, "Hey, we got to make sure this is a real person she's going to see," you know. But I want to tell you how much I love you. I know you're going to be leaving out on Sunday. And thank you so much for coming on tonight. I'm gonna let you enjoy your granddaughter. And take care. We'll talk soon, okay? All right, bye-bye. Okay, so I wanted you all to hear from her, and I'm gonna figure out how to do that better. So, like I tell you, I'm gonna get my technical stuff right. I'm gonna get it right so y'all can really see how tall I am. But I wanted you to hear her because I was so inspired, and she always said, "I catch up. If I miss it, I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna catch up. I'm gonna sit on that phone. I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm gonna see it when I'm home. I've got you on the TV. I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna listen to every word. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, get it, get it." And so I appreciate and I thank God that He has guided me to do this and to inspire people and people to see my passion about wanting you to succeed and for you all to know this is all you need to make it online on the six. This will connect you to 63 million customers. 63 million customers. Not 6,300, 63,000, 63 million customers. But if you don't know how to work it, you're going to get 6 customers, 10 and you know what? When you get 6 customers, 10 customers, and 100 customers, you're happy. But let's not turn it to 6,000. Let's not put limits on it. Let's keep climbing. Let's not give up. Let's not quit. Let's keep climbing. Let's make the sacrifice to do what we need to do so we can get it done and get it done as soon as we are capable to keep up. But in the meantime, we got to keep it moving. So before I read your notes, I'm going to go to the members and let you know who are our members. These members that I'm calling. These are active members. If your name has not called, that just means you may be inactive. Once you ever sign up on the channel, you are a member. These names that I'm calling are active members. That means that you're current and you answered your email. You know how you get 5,000 emails? You might have not seen the email. So just update, you get back in line, and I'm going to give you all the people who are actually active, putting the sweat in, getting the work done, getting the do done. This is a member. These are the cheerleaders right now that say, Evelyn, hey, what time you going to be there tonight? Now, I have last minute customers, so that's why I was like 8:45 tonight. But anyway, here we go. Miss Blessings, Miss Mary Jones with your bad self. Mary Jones can sell to a blind person. Have you listened? Did you listen to her? Oh, let's make your room speak to you. I love that. I want my yard, my grass. I want everything to speak. Mary Jones, I'm telling you, bad girlfriend. You can speak. You can sell to a blind person. That's what they tell me too. But you can sell to a blind person. I'm gonna start back over from the beginning. Okay, Blessings, Mary Jones, Gwendolyn Member Starbs, Daughters of Zion, Sharon Courts, Constance Clinton, Awanda Brown, Tracy Davis, Jean Robinson, Lives Livings by Lorraine, Ellen Banks, Alice San Barnhart, Michelle Stringer, Mildred's Desserts, Soul Pearls Creations, Miriam Masterpieces, Yana's Hodgepodge, Queen of Hearts, Bernice Thompson, Carol Royal, Nina Rose Treasures, Pink Pizzazz Boutique, Shamrock Customs, Learline Rockingham, Loom Laser, Angel Hamilton, Miss T from the SIP, Linda Brown. Before I answer the questions, I want you to know that I do take installments. I want everybody to be able to afford the coaching. As we get ready for the third quarter, we at the top of the second quarter. We get to the third quarter. At the end of that third quarter, we got to be shooting our fireworks. All right. So that's our roll call for tonight. If you want to renew your membership, I would greatly appreciate it. And we will see how we can get you set up. I'm going to try to go to the top of the screen. Okay. Miss Bernie says, good, everybody. She's from Decatur, Georgia, my favorite city. You know why I like Decatur? Because it's quiet. You can get everywhere in 5 minutes when it's not traffic hour. But I love Decatur. All right. We got Miriam Masterpiece. Miriam got a lot of thread. She showed me her thread rack. Her thread rack is full, everybody. She got free thread last week. If you buy from me and you're consistent and you buy over a certain amount of threshold, $200 or $300, I start giving you a line of credit to match that. So if you consistently buy, I will start matching that and give you that boost that you need to get some inventory. I'll give you a line of credit because when you got fabric, you can make things. You can make things happen. You can get your quantity up. As you sell, pay it off. Well, not anytime, but 30 days, pay it off, 30, 45 days. We want to work with you. We want to build you up so you get that business credit. We got, okay, Marilyn is from North Carolina. Miss Bernice is from Atlanta, Decatur, Georgia. Let's see. Angela Hamilton, she's from St. Louis. I got a hat I make over the arch. I love St. Louis. I made a lot of money in St. Louis. St. Louis people spend. They spend. This is Miriam. She has a suggestion. The money is not coming fast enough because I can be a perfectionist, spending too much time on one thing. Okay, I'm going to tell you about that. Spending too much time on one thing. Stop it. That's what I'm going to tell you. Stop it. You know what you need to do, Miriam? Miriam says she's a perfectionist. That means every stitch got to be perfect. I told a client last night, I told her, if you get something handmade, it's not going to be perfect. It's not supposed to be perfect. You're not a machine. You're not AI. You know what? When you buy those things from the store, like this blouse, right? It's a wrap top. But if you bought a shirt like this and it had a V-neck, don't think of it as a wrap top. But even if it was a wrap top, when you buy something, they don't. Do you know they don't even use scissors? They use a big iron, a big blade, and they just chop and they might cut 1,000 at a time, 500 at a time. You know, when they cut pants, they don't have somebody with no electric scissors. And then they have it on the time. And when they in the factories, one person is just doing pockets, one person is just doing the outside leg. And they know that this side of the leg can be done in 10 seconds. And they have a pile like this, and a person working that can't move is getting paid 20 cents an hour. They just got to do 100 pair of pants in like an hour. So when you're making something, there's no way in the world you can be perfect. So stop it. Stop trying to be perfect. Put some cold water on your face. When you do an alteration, it's not going to be perfect. The reason it's not going to be perfect is because when it was cut like a cookie cutter. And when the person tried it on, they said, I want some shoulders. I want darts in my bust. I want my waist taken in. Some places you put in there are going to be smooth and it going to look like it came from the factory. And some things you're going to do, it's going to look like, okay, it was altered. And that's what it is. We're not perfect. Our skin is not perfect. Our skin is not the same color. Our skin is different places. You know, we're not perfect. When you were born, you weren't perfect. So when a person told me, she bought something from me, she was going to Brazil. She said, Evelyn, I saw a place on the bottom of my top and the stitch was crooked. I said, okay, I'll replace it. Send it back. Well, I'm going to be in Brazil for 3 months. When I get back, I'll send it back. No problem. If I do something and the customer or the client says that stitch is not perfect, or that stitch, can you make that stitch straight? Now I have a little thing you can put on your machine and it can make sure everything is straight, but I sew mostly freehand. And if I go over a little bit, hey, that's the bump in the cookie. If it bothers me, I'll take it out. When I press everything and if it look okay, I'll ship it. I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm one person. I'm a designer, right? I'm not a perfectionist. I do the best I can. And I'm going to tell you, you can buy clothes in the store. You'll see where their pockets aren't finished. You'll see a button about to come off, and people will still buy it. But what you have is when you make something and you feel that it's not perfect, put it to the side, keep it going. That one I'm going to come back for. Don't stop on that one outfit. If that outfit is not perfect, then start on another one. If you're making 10 tops, I'm going to prep 10 blouses. I'm going to prep hats. I'm going to prep scarves. When you cut them, if you cut them perfect and you can sew them as close as you can, put it on the rack. But if you know that this is the rule of thumb. If it bothers you, put it to the side and go get another one. And if you keep doing the same thing and it keeps getting like it's not right, take a break and then come back. Or a good way to be good on your stitches is press the seam binding down and then start sewing it. And then you can get you more of a perfect stitch and use the guardrail on your machine to have that perfect stitch. But listen to me. Even if you make something and it's perfect to you, when the person try it on, they're gonna say, I don't care about that dart, take it in some more. I don't care about that waist, take it in some more. Okay? Because people want it to fit them. And then you got some people say, look, I want the room. You want to, I messed that stitch up. I don't worry about it. I don't sold broken jewelry. Jewelry that was broken. I'm saying, oh man, it was on the table and I meant to move it. And the person, no, I want it just like that. I have members that buy food, buy stuff broken. They said, I think it's art. I don't know what it was, but I liked it and it was broken. I bought it anyway. So don't overthink it. Relax. You're human. It's handmade. And the reason people want handmade items is not for perfection. They want to buy something from somebody that they can connect to. They're not really looking for a perfect item. And if you do have that person that's looking for a perfect item, then don't be on a handmade shop channel. A handmade shop channel is about bringing beauty, bringing spiritual awareness to what you have to offer, what the colors mean, what the styles mean, where you were, where you want to be, where you're traveling to. And everybody want to say, oh, I got this and it was handmade. And that's the beauty of it. So Miriam, oh Miriam, you know how much I love you, right? Slow down, don't overthink it. Get some tea. Get some tea. You're gonna be all right. And I'm telling you somebody, nobody, I mean, you might have one really person that say, I just don't like it because the stitch is right. And if you use the same color thread, most likely you won't even know that the stitch is off. Sometimes you can be that one stitch is out of line. And then you got to take it up or take the whole thing out and try to put that one stitch back in. Then you got to put one stitch in front and one stitch in back. Then you got to cut the threads. But if you got a fabric where you have the same color thread, and if it's off a little bit, don't worry about it. Let it roll off like a duck. Look, roll off like a duck. Don't sweat it. Okay. Um, let's see who else. The money is not coming fast enough. Okay, I got that part. I'm gonna go back down and see if I can see some more comments. This is I have to do some things that I have done the way you said, to have items that I can make in 20 or 30 minutes in different stages. Yes. If you can start making some things in 20 to 30 minutes. A 20 to 30 minute item can also be a 2 to 3 hour item if you get interruptions. But if you can, find some things that you can make in 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and then just look at them. Now, if you can make an item in 20 or 30 minutes and it's a big item that you can make more money, like you can spend a lot of time on a small item and you might can only get $10 or $15 or $12 or something like that. But if you do a bigger item and it takes less time and you can do it in 20 to 30 minutes, and you can get 50, 60, 70, $100 item, then that might be your sweet spot. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, this is the boot camp call. Okay, somebody said, what's the boot camp time? Come on. Don't I actually scheduled the boot camp to be at 8:30 because the store closes at 7. Unfortunately, today I had a lot of Where are we? What happened? Did I lose you all? Okay, I'm back. I don't know what that was. Hiccup. We'll give it. We'll call call it a hiccup. Well, the day what I had these doctors, these two doctors that were graduating Saturday, and they brought their stuff in, and I had to get it done. I did not want them being alterations the day before they graduated, before they walk across that stage. So when I say 8:30, 8:30 ish, because I really want to be here at 8:30, but sometimes you can't get it done, when you're in the store and they had to sneak out the back. Plus I had somebody lose their keys in JC Penney. So I was trying to get JC Penney's manager to get open. We got somebody from Ohio. Linda Brown is from Ohio. Sonia Henderson. Sonia Harden is from Charlotte. Charlotte. We got a boot camper from Maryland. Oh, Maryland. I told them Maryland is back in the house. Okay, so did you guys see? Okay, what did you think about Miss Ellen? Miss Ellen, 87 years old, on the boot camp, doing her thing, and she's just inspiring me to keep doing what I'm doing. Sweet Pearls Creations. Okay, she says that your YouTube is not sending notifications. Okay, this is what YouTube is doing now. YouTube has stopped sending notifications for a while, not for just my channel, all channels. YouTube is actually looking to see what you're asking for so they can keep feeding you videos like the person that they have. So it's like you know how you go in your house and you change the furniture around? That's what they're doing with all the YouTubers. So they're changing the furniture around. They're seeing if you haven't watched a video in a while, excuse me, if you haven't watched a video in a while, it won't give you a notification. So if you're adamantly watching, it will. And if you is watching and you are not getting notification, it simply wants to know, are you going to go and look for that person? Because they're changing things around. This is the time. Remember when I told you about the second quarter? This is the time that all the businesses find out how they're going to make good money by the end of the year. So when you're making something and you're doing the same thing over and over and over, that thing may be selling, but still add some new items in your inventory. If you go to a store and they don't have no new arrivals, or if there's no new cars for 2027, or there's no new data for your phone coming up to update you and everything. So that's what YouTube is doing now. And you told me that last week. I should have said something. I got off track. That's my fault. But YouTube is not giving notifications on anyone's channel. It's just letting you know. Now, if you're just looking for something, it'll say, "Oh, she just did this. Oh, she just did that." So unless I notify you that I'm not going to be on Thursday nights, give me 15 minutes so I can clear the store out. Because when I'm with you all, I don't want no distractions. I want to read what you're saying. I want to get into it. I want to make sure I'm clear because I value your time. You can spend it somewhere else. I want you all, whether you buy coaching, whether you are a subscriber, whether you are a paying member, I want you to get something from every video, because it'll help you understand how business is working. Even if you're doing something else, what is working? Why am I not making money right now? Why aren't you not making money right now? Answer that to me. If you don't know why you're making money right now, ask me, why am I not making money right now? Ask me that, and I'm going to come back and answer your question. Okay. Okay, this is Miss Bernie saying she's not getting any notifications as well. Okay, Masterpiece got her threads. Okay, this is Miss Constance. I have a question. If you don't have your taxes numbers, would it be wise to still get the credit card that you were talking about last week? Okay, last week, good question, Constance. Last week we were talking about getting credit cards, right? Now, I want you, this is Constance. She is a boot camp member, and she's actually paying for coaching, and she's asking a question on the live, and her question can help you understand why you should get coaching. Okay. If you text me or call me, I will be back with you no more than a day, because I'm checking every day. Now it might not be the same day, but at 24 hours I'm gonna respond to you right now with the load that I got. Okay. I want to respond to you. As the channel gets bigger, I will probably get partners to help answer the questions and have an answer for you. But right now, we are small enough that I can answer every question. Now, when you get coaching and you start getting your business self lined up, and you want to get the max out, and if you don't have, let me make sure I got the questions right. Okay, you don't have your tax exempt number. Okay, what will happen is everything that she buys for her business and she has to pay taxes on, when she get her tax exempt number, she would put that as a deduction. So if she spent, say, $1,000 and she spent $70 on taxes, okay, then she could take that $70 as a tax deduction. And if she did not, say if her sales tax, if she just starting out and she's paying monthly and she made a few sales, and say if her sales tax wasn't the whole $70, like if her tax report was $36, then she could save that other tax and deduct it on the next tax, because she actually paid the tax and she needed those items to make money. So just keep your receipts for that. And then if you don't plan on doing it, which I strongly suggest anyone with a business license get your tax exempt. If you are looking for funding, I want everybody to not be afraid of getting funding. Funding means money, means capital, means operating expense money. If you got money, you can breathe. You can say, okay, I could take care of that bill. Okay. You get that card. Some of the cards now are even giving you, some cards give you a year before you pay the interest. Some people giving you 45 days before you pay the interest. Some people are giving you, like American Express, you can pay it off in 30 days. They got American Express now where you can pay it off and don't pay any taxes or fees, or you can still pay on it and you pay interest on what your balance is. So I would strongly suggest that whatever card that you qualify for, when you qualify for these cards for your business, grab them. Grab them from reputable companies. If you can get you 5 to 6, 7 cards, that, let me tell you like this. Business credit does not work like personal credit. They don't be pulling, like, when you first get into bed with business credit, they're going to pull your credit. They're going to pull your personal credit to see if you are really a human, right? So that goes back to the business. When you're making your stuff, don't use AI on your photos right away, because they don't know if you're human. If you're selling stuff and it looks like, you know how you see a pattern and it looks like a person on a pattern? That's a picture, or it was a picture of somebody. You don't know who it is, right? That's why I said, even with that crooked stitch, it's good. That means you're alive. That means you're human. That means you made it. So when you're shopping for credit, get what you can get. If you can get a $2,000 card, a $5,000, the least amount of credit line without a card, start at $1,000. Because you're in business, you need money. You cannot build your business for long with your personal money unless you got it like that. If you have a whole lot of money and you say, I'm going to put $50,000 for my business, then that's great. But I'm going to tell you what goes wrong when you have a lot of money when you first start your business. When you have a lot of money, you first start your business, you usually waste the money. You buy stuff you really shouldn't have. You buy stuff without coaching. You spend money where you shouldn't spend it. You could have saved yourself thousands of dollars, but you was in a hurry. You did it fast and you ran up these bills. When you can slowly go and ask for these cards, these business credit cards, get it. Even if you go to Sam's, get you a business credit card. Soon as you get that business credit card, all these friends gonna start talking. She just opened a business. Let's see how she pay. Let's offer her one. And if you get a card, do this for me. If you get a card, get a card that says pre-approved and the amount. Like, okay, if you're going for a business credit card and it says you may qualify for $50,000. And then you read more, it says minimum guaranteed is $500 to $50,000. That's not what you want to apply for. You may apply for $10,000. Minimum amount we'll give you is $3,000. Okay, stay away from those cards that tell you what you might get. If you see a card that says you have a business, we're gonna give you you are pre-approved. It takes 5 minutes, guaranteed approval. You're gonna get $2,000. You're gonna get $5,000. Usually they come 2,000, 5,000, and 7,000. Usually that's what they normally do you for startup business. Those amounts. If you have a business and they say you're gonna give you $500, don't get it. If you get a personal card and it says $500, and you say, what can I do with $500? I would say get it. You know why I would say get it is because it could easily be paid off. So if you got a $5,000 credit, I keep a $5,000, okay, not a $5,000, I keep a $700 credit card because it keeps my credit score good on my personal level. So you can easily pay it off. You know, you buy it, it's due in 30 days, you can pay it off. And then they can say, you want me to up it? And then they ask you want to pay for it? No, I don't want to do that. You just keep a credit. It keeps it first by how long it's been on your credit line, how long you keep paying off. You got a zero balance. Boom. You know, and it's just easy to pay off. So I always say, don't get a lot of little ones, but at least get one. If they offer it to you and you're looking for a credit, remember what I said. You can always rebuild your credit. You can always start working on your credit and building your credit. You can build your credit and have more money for your business that you ever can imagine at your fingertips without going to a bank, without filling out a lot of paperwork. You can fill it out on most of the credit cards you fill out on your phone in less than 5 minutes or less. And they'll have a approval for you within 30 seconds. And then they'll say, okay, your card is in the mail. You're going to get it in less than 10 days. So get your business, start getting your business away from your personal life. Your personal cards keep in a different file, and your business cards keep in another file, keep in another safe at your house. You go and shopping, pick out which card you want. You're buying something personal, I'm gonna pay for this personal. You're buying something for business, pay for this business. If you're sewing from your house and you make some money, use your business card to pay your light bill. Because you can't sew without lights, right? If you got to take some of that money and move over to pay the mortgage, move some of that, you got to pay for your room. That's operating expense. Use those cards to help you take your money back because you couldn't start your business without your personal money. So now you got to pay. You know how long you've been buying stuff out your personal money? You got to pay yourself back. Pay yourself a salary from your business. Okay, I'm gonna get $200 this week. Pay yourself back. Pay yourself as the employee, then pay yourself back for borrowing the money back. Now you got to give your money back to your personal life. So it's an excellent question, Constance. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Get what you can the best way you can and do it and get it done as soon as you can. Get pre-approved cards so that you can get your business on its way. Even if you take a personal card, say you get denied, and you take a personal card and you say, this is going to be for my business. As soon as you get that business done, pay that card off and put it back in your personal. And then what'll happen is you both growing like this. And if you get in a bind, you borrow from your business, and your business will pay you back. Okay. Now there's no person that don't ever borrow from their business. Some people say you can't do that. Well, when you small and you starting out, your business got started because of your personal money, your personal assets. So it takes a while to pay that back. But start getting yourself where you can get your business card that has your business name on it, and then your name underneath. Put the business name and your name underneath. So when you go apply for something, they say, oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're a business account. I could give you to somebody else, because they know you need money, you need help. So get those cards that I asked you to get, Constance, even if you don't have your tax exempt. When your tax exempt come in, all they will do is add it to your file. And if you have any of your receipts from the time you get your tax exempt, then you can start taking those off. They won't go back if you didn't have it. But from here moving forward, you'll be able to get your tax receipt. So if Constance is looking for $20,000, and she needs $20,000 to get some things done for her business, she has a beauty salon that's also going to be part of her store front, then she needs all the credit that she can get that's not attached to her personal life. And she's been in business for a long time. So let's start getting her and praying for her that she get 20, 30, 40, $50,000 that can ease the pain, and that she can get into her business and have it flowing. And she can just keep hustling, working like a duck, getting the money paid. As she get it in, the credit score getting up, the business getting up, the money getting up. When she want to take a gamble and buy something big, she got the money. Okay, this is Miss Mildred of desserts. Yes, Miss Mildred. Miss Mildred, we need some of your desserts. She said, hi, Evelyn. I saw the caller sitting on the couch. I'm inspired by her and her tenacity. I know that I need to get with you and talk about my online priorities in a week. Yes, you do. And you know what, Miss Mildred? Miss Mildred said, I know you got a freezer full of fish. Man, fish biting, Miss Mildred. Miss Mildred, they biting so much, fish are biting. I couldn't even go fishing with my husband because he said they was fishing, and they was catching so many fish that his arm was hurting. Can you imagine? So I brought fish to work, and I gave it to employees, big bags of big, what they call crappies, all these fish. So I gave them to some employees, not employees, some of my clients. I gave them fish today. But yes, Miss Mildred, she was on the couch. She's 87 years young. First flight coming from Delaware to Florida, here for a week, and showed me all these bags and bought fabrics to make me things. So I'm just so honored to have her. Okay, let's see who all we got. I know y'all ready to go home. Go sewing, I know. Okay, what do you do? This is Constance again. What do you do? Okay, I got to go back to this one. This is Patricia. She says, I have got to get active again so I can hold on with both hands. Yes, Miss Patricia, you got to get active, hold on with both hands, and climb. Keep climbing. Okay. Constance says, what if you do when you have a client that looks at every stitch? I want to be perfect, because that's like she said, we're not, and that is the issue with some people. You know what? Let them go. Let them go. I told the client yesterday, I have a very high-end client. And I told her yesterday, it's never gonna be perfect. If you want me, because first of all, when you're sewing for a client that likes a stuffed shape, your boobs are not the same size, ladies. And when you start putting them darts there, if you don't have on a really good bra to make your boobs seem the same size, it's gonna be difficult for that client. So when you know the body parts is not the same, then you just you just say, hey, let them look. If that client is not spending the kind of money you want, and if they want every stitch, then you have to charge them 25% upcharge. But don't sweat them, because you know what, that's just something I would say. When you have a client like that, that's just something that makes you aware of your stitching. I've seen your work. I see what you do. You do a great job. You take simple things and make them suave. You got it great for the summer. You got them, they can fit multiple sizes, and you look at the beauty. And when a person say, I'm looking at the stitches, say, baby, it's handmade. That's all you do. It's handmade. And let it roll off like a duck. Will that be cash, check, or charge, ma'am? Well, can you give me something off? No, what I'll do is I'll make you another one and I'll charge you $25 to make it just perfect for you. So you do an upcharge. Don't take it personal. You're gonna have those, but just don't take it personal. Little desserts. Most of my stuff you buy in the same scene. Most of the stuff you buy in the store seem are not straight, but we keep buying them anyway. Um, you know what I say about that? You know, people walk. Have you seen anybody today with holes in their jeans? They don't care. People don't care about all that. People are busy. If it fit right, like so when you look at this suit I did for the gentleman tonight, when I fixed his whole suit, his dad had a suit. Both of these people had suits and they were big. They bought them when they was bigger. And they was like, well, what about this button? That button was done by the factory. I said, now if I move that button, it's gonna have a mark on it because they have to put it exactly. When they sew the buttons on at the factory, they don't sew them by hand, they sew them with a machine. Ploop, ploop, and that's the button. So I moved the button that was by the factory. I said, that wasn't my button. That's the factory button. My button's over here. My buttons are straight. So I said, well, I'm gonna fix it because you're looking at it like that. Sometimes people think you do stuff that you don't do, and they're looking at you and they're not looking at the factory. So yes, factories make a lot of stitches and people buy them. They buy them all the time. So guess what? And they buy them at that price and they don't discount it. So let it roll off like a duck. Okay, Miss Miller said, I want some fish. Can you send me some fish? You know what? I'm gonna see if I can send, you probably could put the ice on it, send you some of them big old specks. I'll send you some fish. Okay. Okay. Miss Bernice said, all money is not good money. Let them go. Yes, ma'am. Miss Bernice, can I call you? All money is not good money. I mean, okay, Liz is from Detroit. She says people don't realize the imperfection from ready to wear. They buy the clothes anyway. Yes, Liz is from Detroit and Liz make a lot of stuff and she's very creative with a lot of fabrics and she mix and match and she's just like an artist. So when you do that, you know, I just wouldn't. I wouldn't. It hurt your feelings, but you know what? Look at the next customer because the next person will find. And then it's a form of art. Handmade stuff is a form of art. If they don't like your work, you know, just let them go. Like I had a customer yesterday before I let you go. He said, I want you to make me a necklace. I said, what's your budget? What you mean, what's your budget? So, it's a guy. Well, how much it gonna cost? I said, I need to know your budget. I need to know if I'm gonna get wood, I'm gonna get crystal, if I'm gonna get clay, if I'm gonna get iron, steel. What is your budget? Just forget it. Guess what? We saved the headache because I'm not going to start researching an item if you have a $50 budget, a $100 budget, a $300 budget. If you can't tell me the budget, then I can't start looking. If you go buy a house and they say, well, we got to get this. We got to get this house. And you say, what's your budget? And you say, well, just show me a house. They're going to go, no. They're going to say, I'm going to pre-qualify you. Do you pre-qualify for $1 million or do you pre-qualify for a $250,000 house or do you pre-qualify for a $50,000 house? So everything has a price and a time and your time is valuable. So tonight, you all, I want you to stay on course. I want you to, I'm gonna let you know who I'm gonna call next week. I'm gonna call Miss Bernice next week. I'm letting you know up front. I'm gonna call Miss Mildred. I'm gonna call who they said they hadn't been here a while. I'm gonna call Miss Constance, and I'm gonna call the person said she got to get back into it. She said I got to get back into it. I got to catch up. I'm gonna call somebody who says they slipping and they need to be uplifted. I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna encourage them. And I want you all to know that we are united because we're gonna be threads of America. Of all the universe, those are in America. We're going to go outside America. But I want you to know, this is a channel for those listening. This is in the United States. But I want you to know that whatever you're going through, keep climbing, keep building. Don't quit. Just don't quit. Make one item per day I don't care if it's something that takes 5 minutes, like a straight stitch on a scarf. Do one thing per day. Let's keep climbing. Let's build our wealth. Let's make it happen. Let's be better every single day that we can make more money, because when the flood comes, you don't want to have your grocery store empty. You don't want to have your retail store empty. You want to have your bag empty. You don't want your bank account empty. So in order for us to keep everything filled, we got to keep working. Be empowered, be inspired. If you can, watch the channels that I put out today. It's some good stuff. You're gonna laugh at it. You're gonna see these young people just telling you how hard it was for them to get their degrees, and now they doctors. Y'all gonna be doctors in your field. You got to go through the car wash. You got to get some mud on you. Then you're gonna come out clean. I love you all so much. And yes, if you like this fabric, it is in stock. We do have it for you. Take care, everybody. Thanks for the compliments and thanks for your wisdom. And thank you, Miss Ellen, for visiting me and keeping me in your prayers. Thank you all. Bye-bye.